started, I'll repeat the question. So this one is for Senator Palestina and Assemblywoman Rowan, and the topic is affordability. Atlantic County residents are increasingly faced with rising costs that do not match the cost of living and nationwide economic instability. What state-level policies or legislative priorities do you support to make New Jersey more affordable for working families, seniors, and young people? Senator Palestina.
So again, thank you. This is, of course, the most pressing issue we faced in New Jersey for many, many years now. And of course, it starts with taxes, specifically property taxes. We have heard my entire adult life, I think, that property taxes in New Jersey are an impediment to people wanting to remain in Jersey. They are just out of control. So people have historically left for lower tax states. We have seen the out-migration of people here who would pay taxes in Jersey. And I think finally, under Governor Murphy in the last few years, we started to recognize how regressive this is and how impactful this is in our families. We started the Anchor program a few years ago, which gives people a rebate back on their property taxes. We now did pass Stay New Jersey, which would give seniors the ability to have their property taxes cut in half for certain income levels. So we started a process to try to deal with the property tax crisis. Not necessarily what we would do if we were in charge, because we think we need to lower property taxes across the board, but at least these programs are starting that process, and we need to continue that and figure out how we can keep the property tax burden on people as low as possible so that they can remain here, raise their families here, ultimately retire here. Healthcare is, of course, just completely out of control. You know, we see in trend, we see like subsidies happening and these costs going up. It really, we're not getting to the underlying issue of what is driving up these healthcare costs. So I've said over and over again, we really need a forum like this, a roundtable. We need to figure out something that we can get a handle on why healthcare is just going up so exponentially. You know, and I bring up these little things, like you watch TV, and every third commercial seems like it's a pharmaceutical, and it goes on 15 seconds about what the pharmaceutical does, and then the last 15 seconds is all the side effects that you have to take another pharmaceutical to deal with the side effects. And the advertising dollars being spent by the pharmaceutical companies, I can't even imagine. I know we spend.
That's talk.
Nope, and energy is the third one. So we'll come up with that later.
Thank you, Senator Palestina. Assemblywoman
That
Rowan.
was way too polite. As Senator Palestina is correct, that affordability was the key issue. It remains the key issue. Although property taxes are a problem, I believe that there are other problems that affect people's day-to-day life, primarily the cost of energy and the cost of housing and or the lack of affordable housing. Yesterday, I sponsored an energy assistance event in my office where, thanks to Atlantic City-Electric, they came in and provided the resources to people to either help them with their bill, provide assistance with their bill. And in a way, it was heartbreaking to see so many people need assistance. They couldn't pay their bill, their service was turned off. So thanks to Atlantic City-Electric, it was my honor to provide these services. But again, just like in the cost of healthcare, we have to get to the root cause of why the energy is so expensive. And simply, there is supply and demand. The demand is high, and New Jersey does not produce enough of its own energy. In order to rectify that problem, we have to consider an all-of-the-above approach. I totally support and believe in clean energy, but in talk about bridging the gap, until we bridge that gap, we have to consider everything. And even though people on that might not like it, nuclear, Governor Charlotte just signed a bill allowing for quicker permitting of nuclear facilities. Nuclear is safe. It's clean, let me say it's clean. Solar, gas, we have to, battery storage, we have to bridge that gap so that it's no longer necessary for people to have to come to my office distraught because their electricity was turned off. So we have to consider an all-of-the-above approach. And again, the lack of affordable housing continues to remain an issue. It is great to provide rental assistance and home buyer assistance, but we have to build more housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. Okay, at this time, if anyone has anything to add to that question, Mr. Suleiman?
Yeah, so stay in J, obviously critically important to help seniors stay in their homes. You also need to help those, frankly, under 65 stay in their homes to make sure that Anchor is fully funded and make sure there's equitable school funding. But I have to say, one issue with that is we have a fiscal cliff going on in New Jersey. We have a $3 billion structural deficit. Our budget is $60 billion now, frankly. I say with love, when Vince started the legislature, it was a $30 billion budget. So we've really got a fiscal crisis going on in New Jersey. We've got to tackle it. I think Mikey is reasonable to say, if you make $500 grand a year, we should not subsidize your property taxes. Lower it to $250 like everybody else.
Does anyone else have anything to add? Sheriff?
You know, the problem is, we look at our taxes here, and I am a senior citizen, but being a father of 12 children, I understand struggle. So I'm going to say this to everybody here. The party lines have to come together on this. We have to once and for all end this difference between our parties, because there's no room for that. We're struggling. Atlantic Electric's excellent. I have to say, recently, I have them in the courthouses as well, because that's where people are coming to resolve their problems. Many of them are financial, and I keep hearing the same issue. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so now we are going to do our first lightning round.